Let's begin with a reality that most men find incredibly frustrating, yet it remains one of the most fundamental truths about human connection. Attraction for a woman is rarely a light switch that flips on or off based on a single physical trait or a clever line. While men often experience attraction as an immediate, visual, and almost physiological response, women operate on a timeline that is much more observational, much more fluid, and significantly more nuanced. If you have ever felt like you were doing everything right, wearing the right clothes, saying the right things, following the right advice, and yet you still felt like you were hitting a brick wall, it is likely because you were focusing on the external performance while ignoring the internal character that women are actually scanning for. We are going to deconstruct the myth of the surface-level man and dive deep into the psychological layers of how a woman's mind actually processes interest. Most of the advice you see online focuses on tactics, but tactics are just temporary masks. They eventually slip, and when they do, the lack of a real foundation is exposed. We are moving beyond the surface today to understand the energetic, emotional, and psychological imprints that make a man truly unforgettable. Let's talk about the uncomfortable truth regarding initial disinterest. When a woman says she is not interested, or when she seems indifferent to your presence, most men take that as a final verdict. They either retreat into their shells or they double down on the pressure, trying to force a connection that isn't there. But what if I told you that a woman's initial assessment is often just a baseline? It is a starting point, not a destination. For a woman, attraction is an architecture that is built over time, stone by stone, through observation and interaction. It is a process of unfolding. You might start as a neutral figure in her world, but through your consistency, your presence, and the way you handle the world around you, you can shift that perception entirely. This isn't about manipulation or convincing her to like you. It is about becoming the kind of man whose value is so inherent and grounded that it becomes impossible not to notice. The first layer we need to peel back is the idea that we are only looking at the obvious things. You have been told that women want the car, the money, the height, or the status. And while those things might provide a momentary flicker of interest, they are not what sustains attraction. What we are actually doing is looking past the shiny exterior to see how you move through the world when you think nobody is watching. We notice the way you treat the person cleaning the floor at the gym. We notice whether you look people in the eye when you speak to them, or if you are constantly scanning the room for someone more important to talk to. We notice how you handle a minor inconvenience, like a late food order or a traffic jam. These small, seemingly insignificant moments are actually massive data points for us. They tell us about your emotional stability, your level of self-respect, and your ability to lead yourself through life. A man who is flashy but treats people poorly is instantly categorized as low value, regardless of his bank account. Conversely, a man who carries himself with quiet dignity, who is respectful to everyone, and who remains unruffled by life's small annoyances, starts to radiate a type of magnetic energy that is incredibly rare. This is the observer effect. We are always collecting data, and the most important data points are the ones you aren't trying to show us. This brings us to the danger of the performance. There is a very specific, almost palpable energy that a man gives off when he is trying too hard to impress a woman. It feels like a sales pitch. It feels like he is auditioning for a role, rather than just being a human being. When you are in performance mode, you are essentially saying that you don't believe your true self is enough. You are trying to manage our perception of you, and that creates an immediate wall. Women are hypersensitive to this because, historically and biologically, we have had to be experts at reading intentions for our own safety and social navigation. When we feel a man performing, we feel a lack of authenticity. It makes us wonder what he is hiding behind the mask. Is he actually confident, or is he just loud? Is he actually kind, or is he just agreeable because he wants something? The performance trap is where most men lose the game before it even begins. They focus so much on the perfect response, or the alpha body language, that they lose their presence. Real attraction requires presence. It requires you to be in the room, in your body, and in the moment, rather than stuck in your head trying to calculate your next move. When you stop trying to impress us, you actually start to interest us. There is something profoundly attractive about a man who is so comfortable in his own skin that he doesn't feel the need to justify his existence or prove his worth. He doesn't name drop, he doesn't exaggerate his stories, and he doesn't look for constant validation in our eyes after every sentence. He is just there. And in that groundedness, we find the space to actually get to know him. Now, let's talk about the moment the internal decision happens. This is the vibe check that happens beneath the surface of the conversation. Within the first 20 minutes of an interaction, a woman is subconsciously answering a series of questions. Does this man's energy feel safe? Does he have a clear sense of direction? Is he a leader or a follower of his own impulses? Most importantly, is he affected by my presence more than he is rooted in his own? This last one is crucial. Many men become different versions of themselves when they are around a woman they find attractive. They become nervous or overly accommodating, or they try to act like someone they think she wants. This indicates a lack of internal frame. A man with a strong internal frame is the same person whether he is talking to a CEO, a buddy, or a beautiful woman. His character is fixed. It doesn't fluctuate based on the social value of the person in front of him. When a woman senses this consistency, it triggers a deep sense of respect. And for women, respect is the fertile soil in which attraction grows. Without respect, any physical attraction will be fleeting and shallow. We decide if you are worth our attention based on the strength of your character, not the cleverness of your wit. This leads us to the nice guy paradox, which is one of the most misunderstood concepts in dating. Men often get angry when they hear that being nice isn't enough, or that nice guys finish last. But we need to define what nice actually means in this context. There is a massive difference between a man of high character who is genuinely kind and a nice guy who uses agreeability as a social currency. The nice guy is often agreeable because he is afraid of conflict. He has no boundaries because he is terrified of rejection. He says yes to everything because he thinks that being a doormat is the path to being loved. But to a woman, this doesn't feel like kindness. It feels like weakness. It feels like he is trying to bribe us into liking him. A man who has no no in him has a yes that means nothing. We are attracted to the man who can stand his ground, who can disagree with us respectfully, and who has clear boundaries that he will not allow anyone, including us, to cross. That shows us that he has self-respect, and if he respects himself, we know we can trust him to respect us. True kindness is a choice made from a position of strength, not a default setting born out of a fear of being disliked. If you want to move out of the friend zone or the nice guy category, you have to find your backbone. You have to be willing to be disliked for your truth rather than liked for a lie. This doesn't mean being a jerk. It means being a man with a solid, unshakable center. Let's explore what actually makes a woman think about you when you aren't there. This is the emotional imprinting phase. Most men think that to stay on a woman's mind, they need to keep texting her, or keep buying her things, or keep making grand gestures. But those things are external and temporary. What stays with us is how you made us feel about ourselves when we were with you. There is a rare type of man who listens so deeply and with such presence that it feels like the rest of the world has faded away. He doesn't just hear the words, he hears the intent and the emotion behind them. He asks the kind of questions that make us pause and think, wow, nobody has ever asked me that before. When you see a woman, truly see her, beyond her looks, beyond her social mask, you leave an imprint that she cannot shake. She goes home and she replays that conversation because it felt different. It felt real. It felt substantial. You didn't just entertain her, you connected with her. This is why presence is your greatest superpower. A man who is fully present is more attractive than a man who is physically perfect but mentally elsewhere. We think about the man who challenged us, the man who made us laugh from a place of genuine joy rather than a rehearsed joke, and the man who seemed to understand parts of us that we haven't even fully voiced yet. That is how you build a permanent residence in a woman's mind. You don't do it by being more available. You do it by being more impactful. Now, we must address the reality of the tests. Many men find it frustrating that women seem to test them, but you have to understand the biological necessity behind it. Women carry the majority of the risk in dating and reproduction, both historically and emotionally. Testing is our natural defense mechanism to see if a man is congruent. We want to see if the confident, grounded man we see on a Tuesday is the same man when he is tired or stressed, or when we push back on him on a Friday. We might pull back our attention slightly, or we might challenge an opinion of yours, or we might be a bit difficult just to see how you respond. If you crumble, if you become needy, if you get angry and defensive, or if you immediately start apologizing for things you didn't do, you have failed the test. You have shown us that your confidence was just a thin veneer. But if you remain calm, if you meet our challenge with a smirk and a steady gaze, or if you simply ignore the drama and continue being the man you were, you pass. You show us that you are unreactive to external turbulence. This is incredibly comforting to a woman. It tells her that if life gets hard, if there is a real crisis, you will be the anchor, not the one drifting away in the storm. Passing a test isn't about winning an argument. It's about maintaining your emotional equilibrium. The more consistent you are, the fewer tests there will be, because you will have proven that your character is your reality, not a performance. This brings us to the most vital realization of all, the honest truth that most women will never say to your face because it sounds too harsh. The truth is that many men are trying to build a relationship on top of a void. They are looking for a woman to be their source of happiness, their source of validation, and their source of purpose. They are walking through life like a puzzle with a missing piece, hoping a woman will fit into that gap. But women are not pieces of a puzzle. We are people, and we don't want to be the foundation of your life. We want to be a partner in a life that is already strong. If you don't have a mission, if you don't have hobbies that set your soul on fire, if you don't have a brotherhood of men who hold you accountable, and if you don't have a sense of where you are going, you will always be operating from a place of lack, and lack is the ultimate repellent. A woman wants to join a man on his journey. She doesn't want to be the destination. When you focus all of your energy on getting the girl, you are essentially telling the universe that the girl is more important than your own growth. This creates a needy, suffocating energy that women can smell from a mile away. The most attractive thing you can do is to stop making women the center of your universe. Focus on your health, your career, your mind, and your spirit. Build a life that you are so proud of and so excited about that a woman is a beautiful addition to it, not a requirement for it. This is the philosophical shift from being a seeker to being a creator. A seeker is always looking for external things to fill him up. A creator builds his own internal fire and lets others come to warm themselves by it. When you become a man of purpose, your body language changes, your voice deepens, and your eyes take on a level of focus that is naturally magnetic. You no longer have to try to be attractive because your life itself is the attraction. This is the work that is quiet and unglamorous. It happens in the early morning at the gym, in the late nights studying or working on your business, and in the difficult conversations where you hold yourself to a higher standard. It is the work of self-mastery. Most men skip this part because it is hard. They want the cheat codes or the hacks to get a woman's attention. But there are no hacks for character. You cannot fake the energy of a man who has conquered himself. Women are looking for that groundedness because it is the only thing that is truly sustainable. When we find a man who has done the work, we don't just feel attracted to him, we feel a sense of relief. We feel like we have finally found someone who doesn't need us to manage his emotions or prop up his ego. We found someone who is whole, and in that wholeness, true intimacy becomes possible. You have to understand that your value is not determined by how many women find you attractive. Your value is determined by the man you are when you are alone. If you respect the man in the mirror, eventually the world will follow suit. But it has to start with you. It has to start with a decision to stop performing and start becoming. This means being honest about your flaws and working to fix them. It means being honest about your desires and pursuing them with integrity. It means being a man of your word, first to yourself and then to others. When you say you are going to do something and you actually do it, you build internal trust. That internal trust radiates outward as confidence. It is not the loud, arrogant confidence of a man who is trying to prove something. It is the quiet, calm confidence of a man who knows exactly who he is. That is the man women cannot get out of their heads. That is the man we notice in the crowded room. That is the man we test and hope he passes. And that is the man we stay with. Everything we have discussed today, the noticing of small details, the avoidance of the performance trap, the importance of internal frame, the deconstruction of the nice guy myth, the power of emotional imprinting, the necessity of tests, and the requirement of internal mission, all of it points to one single truth. You are the project. Your life is the canvas. Stop trying to paint yourself into her picture and start painting your own. Make it bold, make it vibrant, and make it authentic. When your life is a masterpiece of your own creation, you won't have to chase anyone. People will naturally want to be a part of what you are building. This is the shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Scarcity says, I need her to like me so I can feel good. Abundance says, I feel good because of the man I am becoming, and I am looking for someone who aligns with that. Can you feel the difference in those two energies? One is heavy and pulling. The other is light and radiating. As we wrap this up, I want you to take a hard look at where you are spending your energy. Are you spending it on tactics and techniques, or are you spending it on character and growth? Are you trying to manage perceptions, or are you building a reality? The path to becoming a truly attractive man is not found in a book of lines. It is found in the daily discipline of self-improvement. It is found in the moments where you choose the difficult right over the easy wrong. It is found in the silence of your own thoughts, where you decide that you are enough right now, while simultaneously striving to be better tomorrow. This is the journey of the masculine. It is a journey of responsibility, of strength, and of deep, unwavering integrity. And let me tell you, as a woman who speaks to other women every single day, there is nothing we want more than to see men succeed in this journey. We aren't your adversaries. We are your mirrors. We reflect back to you the energy you bring to us. If you bring us insecurity and performance, we reflect back indifference. If you bring us strength and authenticity, we reflect back attraction and respect. So, take the lessons from today and apply them. Don't just watch this and move on to the next video. Pick one area, whether it is your presence, your boundaries, or your mission, and commit to improving it. Do it for yourself, not for the women you want to attract. Because when you do it for yourself, the results are permanent. You become a man who is not just attractive to women, but a man who is respected by his peers, and most importantly, a man who is at peace with himself. That is the ultimate win. Thank you for being here and for having the courage to look at these truths. This is a journey, not a destination, and every step you take toward your most authentic self is a step in the right direction. I am genuinely excited for you to see how the world shifts when you stop performing and start being. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these sections hit home the hardest? Was it the part about the performance trap, or perhaps the truth about the nice guy syndrome? Have you felt yourself falling into these patterns? And how do you plan to shift your approach moving forward? Drop a comment below because I want to keep this conversation going. I am here to support you in this growth, and your insights help everyone else in this community who is on the same path. Let's build something real together. Let's move past the surface and into the depth of what it means to be a man of character. I will be reading your comments and responding because your perspective is a vital part of this mission. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing. And let's keep being honest about what it really takes to build a life of genuine connection and attraction. It is all within your reach if you are willing to do the work. The transformation starts the moment you decide that you are no longer willing to settle for a performance. You are ready for the truth. You are ready to be the man you were meant to be. And trust me, the world is waiting for that man to show up. The nuances of attraction are complex, but the path to becoming attractive is simple. Be real, be grounded, and be on a mission. Everything else will fall into place. It's time to step into your power. It's time to lead your life with intention. It's time to show the world and yourself what you are truly made of. Let's make it happen. I'll see you in the comments. This is just the beginning of a whole new chapter for you. Take a deep breath, realize your potential, and let's move forward with absolute clarity and confidence. Your future self is waiting for you to make this shift. Don't keep him waiting any longer. The psychological shifts we've discussed are the foundation for a lifetime of success, not just in your dating life, but in every single interaction you have. Whether you're in a boardroom, at a family gathering, or on a first date, the principles of presence, character, and mission remain the same. They are the universal language of human value. As you go out into the world today, carry these truths with you. Observe the world, but don't be controlled by its reactions. Lead yourself first, and others will naturally want to follow. This is the essence of true masculinity. It's not about dominance, it's about self-governance. It's about being the master of your own internal world. When you achieve that, you become a magnet for everything you've ever wanted. The journey is yours. The choice is yours. The time is now. Let's get to work and transform the way you see yourself and how the world sees you. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, and now you have the responsibility to act. Be the man who takes action. Be the man who doesn't just listen, but implements. That is the man who wins. Let's continue this evolution together, one step at a time, one day at a time, until the man you are matches the man you've always known you could be. That is the goal. That is the prize. And it is closer than you think. Keep pushing, keep learning, and never settle for anything less than your absolute best. You owe it to yourself to see just how far you can go when you finally stop holding yourself back. The world needs more men who are willing to be real. Be one of them. It all starts today. No more excuses, no more performances, just pure, unadulterated character. That is your path forward. Let's walk it together. Your transformation is not just a possibility, it is an inevitability if you stay the course. Trust the process, trust yourself, and let your actions speak louder than any words ever could. This is how you change your life. This is how you attract the quality of woman you've always dreamed of. This is how you become a legend in your own life. Let's do this. Let's go.